Hey everyone, in this video we are going to explore text classification using llama 2 and Langchain. So we are going to build a sentiment analyzer that is able to take in a text and it is going to classify the text into either a positive, a neutral, or negative sentiment. All right, so we are going to do this using the VS Code and I'm going to show you how you can also use the free version of Colab by downloading models from Hugging Face. All right. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe and like, comment. Right. So let's get into it. Okay. So let me just do an example. I'm going to paste in a statement. Okay. I'm going to say I absolutely love the new restaurant in the town. Food was delicious and the service was impeccable. Right, so I'm going to hit send. Let's see. All right, so as you can see, the sentiment of the text provided is positive. So the use of the word absolutely and the phrase delicious suggests a strong positive opinion of the restaurant. All right, it looks exciting here. So let me just try another one. I'm going to say the, the weather ruined our weekend. Compare trip. So it's rain non-stop and our tent was flooded. Let's see what it's going to say. All right, so as you can see, the sentiment of the text provided is negative. The use of the word ruined and the description of the weather condition, ruined non-stop, then got flooded, indicate the speaker had a poor experience on their campaign. All right, that looks pretty awesome. All right, so I'm going to show you how to build this in the VS Code. So before we get into that, let me show you a simple diagram of the sentiment analysis. All right, so you were able to classify each of these texts into negative, neutral, and positive sentiments. For some most use cases, let's say you can use it like in a restaurant where customers come in and you want to get feedback on how the whole food actually went. If it is, I mean, your experience, okay? So, user experience purposes, you can classify each of the texts. All right, so let's say negative for totally dissatisfied with the service, worst customers care ever. So, it can classify that into a negative, a neutral, a good job, but I will expect a lot more in the future. Okay, so it's not really like a negative or a positive sentiment, positive, and for the positive, a brilliant effort, guys. Love your work. Anyway, so we're actually going to base build this using the sentiment and analyzer. All right, it's a pretty straightforward one. All right, so let's get into it. So we are going to need the create an environment. So we're going to need the replicate API token, right? So this I already have videos on that. Okay. But let me show you how you can do that. So into your replicate.com, you go to your API token. When you click on that, it's going to show you where your token is. And if you want to create a new one, you just put in a name and you hit on create token, and you can copy this and you paste it here. Okay. All right. So we are going to need these requirements for the project. Okay. Okay. So in here, we are going to import Streamlit as ST. We're going to need the prompt templates to input in our prompt. We're going to get the LLM chain to create our chain, the replicate to pull in our to create a model, and the dot environment. We are going to load the .env. So we are going to load the API token access. So we get access to the model. Okay, and we are going to also reload the environment using the load.env. Right, so now we created templates. Okay, so template is equal to, let me just copy this. But template, so this is what we want to do. So you analyze the sentiment of the text provided. The sentence can be positive, negative, or neutral. Do not guess if you don't know. All right. So you can just put in any prompt. Okay. And the next thing is to create a prompt. And prompt is, we call it prompt template. Okay. It's a prompt template. We are going to pass in this prompt, and the input variables is going to be a text. Okay. So the next thing is we initialize the replicates LLM. All right, so just so that you know, let me just create a new environment for this. Okay, so in here, if let's see, you can just go into your terminal is to install the requirement. You say pip install requirement .txt, and when you hit enter, it's going to install all these requirements for you. Okay. All right. Let me move into creating the LLM. Okay. In here, we put in our LLM. That is the replicate. Okay. So we get a model, and I already have videos in there. So let me just quickly show you how to do that. You go into explore and you hit llama2. Okay. All right. So as you can see, we have several of the models. Okay. All right. So within here, you can let me click on this one. And as you can see, you see a replicate here. All right. So get to API. All right. And get in here. All right. There's the name of the model. So you can copy that. Okay. And you paste it in here in the model. And we set a temperature to 0.1. You can vary that in your use cases. And you can max size go to 500, top percentage go to 1, so we can vary that. In same way, if you want to use the local version, you can also do that. I already have videos on how to do that. Okay, so you have to download the model from the blog. Right, it's showed in um, some of them videos. I'm going to attach that in the description. Okay, all right, and so the next thing is you create LLM, the LLM chain. So we call in the LLM chain, we pass in the prompt is equal to the prompt, and the LLM is equal to the LLM. This is very simple and straightforward. And now we define the app. Okay, so we are, let's see, so in here, we are defining the fonts, we are defining the app. We say def main, we set the title, we call it Sentiment Analyzer Chatbot. Place any name, whatever you want. We write the enter a text, and this app will provide the answer. We pass in the user input. We say xt.text area. We enter your text, and so we add a send button, analyze the user input, and we run the chain. We pass in the user input into our LLM chain, and we run it, and it's going to provide the answer. So, and this code is just to make sure that all this function runs, right? Very, very simple. So I'm going to save it. And so guys, don't worry about this. I'm going to put the code in the GitHub so you can just clone or download and run it. Okay. So if you want to run it, you say Streamlit run app.py, enter. All right, so let me just enter a text. Right, instead, let me hit send. All right, perfect. The sentiment of the text provided is positive. The author seems to have a favorable opinion of the textbook, highlighting its comprehensive coverage of the subject matter. All right, this looks pretty good. As a bonus, I'm going to show you how to use uh, the Colab to run this. So I'm going to attach this in the description as well, so you can grab it and practice that. So you're going to say pip install the transformers to get access to the models in Hugging Face, Langchain, passing our prompt templates, accelerate. All right, and we're going to need the touch Hugging Face, the Hugging Face hub. So we run this, okay, and the next thing is to from Hugging Face hub we are going to log in. So when you hit on the login, you need to get access to. Okay, let's give it a few for you to finish running. We're actually running this on the free Colab. Okay. All right. So now we need to get access to the Hugging Face. So we need the token. So in here, you go to settings, go to access token, and you copy this. When you copy that, you come in here, paste it, and you hit on login. Right, so token is valid, and so from transformers we import the tokenizers, tokenize our text, and from Langchain we import the prompt template to pass in our prompts, LLM chain to run our put in our text. It's going to spit out the answers, and the Hugging Face pipeline. We are going to need the transformers. We're going to need a touch, the data type, control our data type, and we are all right. So now the next stage is to get our model. Okay, so now we are using the in here we want to use. You can actually change the model that you want to use, but for demonstration, I'm going to use the llama2-70B-chat from Hugging Face right here. Okay, so now the next thing we are doing now is we are creating our tokenizer. So we from tokenizer we get from the pre-trained model we get our auto tokenizers and we run it. Okay, so the next thing is we create our pipeline. So the pipeline function of the transformers library downloads the model and creates and configures all subjects required to run the model. Something went wrong. Okay, so all right, let me run this. Okay, so let's give it a few. Okay, so when we in the pipeline here, when we specify the text generation as a text parameter, the pipeline will turn the input into embeddings, pass them to the model, get the results, and decode the results to a text. Right. So the model parameter is the name of the model we want to use. Um, that is the Meta llama2-70B-chat. Okay, and the tokenizer parameter is the tokenizer we downloaded. Okay, all right. So the touch the data type specify the precision of the model, the device map set to auto. So if the accelerator library is available, so it lets us automatically decide if the model should be loaded in the GPU or CPU. Okay, so the max length is the length of the text generated text. All right, and the do sample is equal to true means that the model will generate token using the sampling strategy. Okay, the top K is the token to consider when sampling, and the num sequence equal to 1 is the number of generated sequence. Okay, so the EOS token ID is the ID of the token used to identify the end of the sequence. All right, so now we create the LLM using the Hugging Face pipeline. Okay, here we specify additional parameter and value temperature is equal to 0. So we pass in the pipeline in the Hugging Face pipeline. Now we create a template. So we pass in classify the text. Okay, let me just still running. So we pass in we say classify the text into neutral, negative, or positive. Reply with only one word, positive, negative, or neutral. And we say text, we pass in. So you simply have this is just an example. Okay. And it's giving us positive. So text, I got food poisoning, negative text. All right. So prompt is equal to prompt template. And we pass in the input variables equal to text. Okay, and we pass in our LLM chain, passing in there, we pass in the prompt and the LLM. All right, this is interesting. It's downloading. Let me hit this run. All right, and in here we set a function. We go pass in a test, and we pass in the raw LLM answer, and we call in the LLM chain dot run. We pass in our text, and we want it to be a lower. Change it to a lower, and if write a condition. So if neutral in the answer, return 0. If positive, return 1. If negative, negative 1. Else invalid response from the LLM. All right. Okay. So let me run this. All right. So I think I did run it already. All right. So the next thing is just create an example. So the input, we pass in our text. I can't believe the food caused me pains in my stomach and I'm feeling sick. And we pass in the create a variable. We call it sentiment. It's equal to, we pass in our function and we pass in the text, right? And we say print sentiments. And it's going to print us the sentiment. Awesome, right? So it's passing. If it's I can't believe the food caused me pain, and you say negative, which is a negative sentiment. All right, it's really awesome and interesting project. You can go through it and let me know your thoughts. Okay, I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to share and subscribe for more content like this. And see you in the next one.